Hello YouTubers. Wanted to welcome new subscribers and everybody that's watching that's new. I've got a few more countries have popped up now that are watching. Just wanted a while back, I said I was gonna do something on the geologic column, anything I discovered and so on. I hope that sun isn't too bright. The geologic, I just wanted to state some facts I found about the geologic column. There's also a whole history of how the geologic column built up over the years, why people believe it exists, and when it's actually not, it doesn't exist. And scholars know it doesn't really exist. It was originally, I wrote my notes down, so I'm gonna, before I start going, I'm just gonna stick to my notes. Because I get in front of the camera and you lose everything. You just get in front of the camera and it's gone. You do not remember what you're gonna say. Okay, the different rocks. Before you have the concept of the geologic column, you really had different rocks. Fossils and things were being found in different types of rock. So you used to categorize rocks, the fossils, based on these different types of rocks. That then kind of became, we're dating the rocks by the fossils, and yet we're dating the fossils by the rocks. So there's a loophole there. There's a circular reasoning. All the scholars agree to that this circular reasoning exists. I've got a bunch of other videos actually by scholars talking about this thing, and I'm not talking about creationism scholars, I'm talking about the real guys. Alright, points to be made. The problems with geologic column. You have these different layers. The deepest layers are supposed to be holding things like, you know, clams, and it moves up to bigger animals. You get the dinosaurs. Humans are only supposed to be on the top. There's a few problems with this. For one, and even, what's his name? R. Dawkins, he's probably one of the biggest spokesmen against any kind of religion, really, any kind of concept of a god, and definitely against creationism. Even he admitted this fact. Human bones are found all throughout all the layers. They're found out of order from where they're supposed to be. So that becomes an issue. Another issue is we have fossilized trees growing through, you know, we're talking over 30 feet worth of soil. You know, they'll actually grow through 3 or 4 supposed layers. A tree cannot grow through 3 or 4 different time periods of the Earth's history. It's, you know, these, when evolutionists come up against this problem, there's usually it's addressed in 1 or 2 ways. They really can only address it in 2 ways. One, that the tree, there was a seed and it grew straight through pure rock to get to the sun over 30 feet. And they know that doesn't work. The only other thing is it fossilized like this, and over time it was brought up like this. But that still doesn't make sense because you have it perfectly aligned with these different layers of rock. The only other possibility is a worldwide flood. Let's be honest. I'm not trying to point to the Bible, but these are the facts I've discovered. Literally, the only thing that works that would have fossilized the tree that quickly and deposited those layers was a worldwide flood, with a massive erosion, massive burial. So you're really stuck with that. In fact, they don't just have like 1 or 2 trees will be lined up. They'll have like a tree here, tree here, tree. You basically have whole forests that are underneath. Another problem. We have things like iron cubes, things that are fashioned, gold chains, sandal footprints, found in all the different layers. The problem with that is you can't have that in all the different layers. Some people say there's contamination of the site. In some cases, that's true. There's absolutely, you can contaminate a fossil site. We were digging it up, somebody came walking through. It's different when it's been fossilized in the rock. When you have a footprint that's fossilized. That didn't happen overnight. Although fossilization can happen very quickly. Like when a volcano erupts, they've had situations where human bones have been fossilized like this because the pressure. Same thing with massive floods and mudslides will come in and they'll just wipe out. They'll bury everything and you'll actually get fossilized. I'm just checking out the sun on my camera. Some more interesting stuff about the age of the Earth. There's more about that geologic column. I would really refer you to, I've got actually a whole scholarly discussion that was had, and multiple scholars from around the country did it on YouTube. So there's things you can find. I just kind of point to the stuff. The big one, age of the Earth, you've got, we know it takes around 1,000 years for about an inch of topsoil. Now this is not dirt, this is topsoil. Dirt can be a whole bunch of other stuff as well. But topsoil in general takes around a little over 1,000 years, to roughly about 1,000 years. If the planet was millions and millions of years old, how much topsoil do you think you'd have? You'd have a lot. Well, we only have around 7 to 8 inches of topsoil. As a general rule, yes, topsoil can bulk up and become deeper in more areas, but generally it's around 7 to 8 inches of topsoil. That goes for a planet that's around 6,000, 7,000 years old. I already mentioned something about carbon dating, so I would refer you to that video if you want to go into more on that. A big problem with the geologic column's this. And this isn't just a problem, they've really discussed it. The geologic column was actually that old and it had that many layers. This is not what the creationists say, this was the actual thing. They said the Earth's crust, if you will, or those different layers, would reach a height of, I forget how many 100,000 feet, basically in the air. We're talking like, all right, Mount Everest is 30,000 feet high. We're saying that the planet, the amount of dirt we would have would fill our oceans. This came up in a famous debate, and they said, well, where did all the dirt, why don't we see that? Why isn't the planet, why doesn't it go that deep, that surface layer? And they go, well, over time it eroded, so it's not that deep now. The different layers, this geologic column has whittled down, so we only see around this much instead of each layer being around that much. It's whittled down to be like that. They said, okay, well, where's the dirt? Where's the eroded dirt? Whether it be sand or whatever, where is it? Basically, like I just said, our oceans would be mud, so it doesn't work. The geologic column, it falls apart. A jet flies at 30,000 feet, so you get 100-something thousand feet. The exact numbers in one of my videos, not my videos. There's a whole Young Earth series thing, a Young Creation, that's what it is. I put it under my scientific evidence playlist, and he goes over geologic column in more detail. Guys, like I said, I like to tell, I love the man, but he's loud and sarcastic, so you got to be ready for that. So if that kind of stuff bugs you, just be prepared. But his facts are great, and he's got the pictures, he's got the quotes from the direct scholars, he's got discussions that went on. It's really great. So with that, I think that's some interesting stuff. So we really see that, you know, this geologic column, it's not like, I'm not trying to prove anybody right or wrong, but it doesn't exist. Scholars that are against creationism admit this thing doesn't exist. It was never intended to be used as the way people use it now. We have some very interesting evidence to suggest that, you know, basically most of the, if not all the animal life we have now was alive during various parts, basically during the same time periods. So it's tricky, it's a tough topic. Anyways, if you're new to my channel, I know that this is a very in-your-face topic, very in-your-face creationistic topic. You know, hang with me, and we'll see what we can get. And ask any questions, prayer requests, questions, any comment that is more of a question, because I've had people posting comments on my page that they're more of a question, and I need a lot of space to answer that question. I can go back and forth in the comments section, but it's difficult to do and it never comes out right. So I prefer you email me. Emails at godschildissaved@yahoo.com. Testimonies, by all means. I'll take those as well, prayer requests. So God bless you and take care.